Do you trust your camera? Daniel did, and he disappeared.
Daniel was a pretty typical computer science major, the kind of guy who'd spend entire nights in front of his laptop, coding, gaming, or just falling down internet rabbit holes. His room was his sanctuary, an organized mess of textbooks, notes, and the constant cool glow of his monitor. It all started subtly, almost too small to notice. The tiny green LED on his webcam would blink. Once, twice, then nothing for hours. Then it would blink again. At first, he rationalized it. A buggy driver, he thought, or some background process checking for hardware. He ran diagnostics, killed every task he could, but the ghost-like blinking continued. Over time, the feeling of being watched started to take root. It was a prickle on the back of his neck, the sense of a presence in the dead quiet of his room. He'd catch fleeting movements in the reflection on his dark screen, like a shadow contorting just behind his chair. He'd whip around, heart pounding, only to find nothing but his bookshelf and the closed door. Paranoia finally won, and he slapped a piece of electrical tape over the lens. For the first time in days, he felt a sense of peace. One night, while cramming for an exam, a strange notification popped up in the corner of his screen. It didn't match the design of any OS he knew. It was a simple black text box with a pixelated font. Just 3 words. "I see you." Daniel's blood ran cold. His first instinct was a prank, some malware. He tried to close the window, but his cursor was frozen. The message pulsed softly. Desperate, he held down the power button, but the screen wouldn't turn off. The words remained, burned into the monitor's glow like a brand. In a panic, he dove to the floor and yanked the plug from the wall. The room was plunged into abrupt darkness, but for one terrible second, in the screen's last fading light, he swore he saw his own reflection. Except, it wasn't him. That reflection was smiling, a wide, predatory grin his own facial muscles could never form. The next morning, exhausted, Daniel told his mom. She just laughed, ruffled his hair, and said he was just stressed from his studies, that he needed more sleep. "You and these computers of yours," she said, with a tenderness that only made him feel more alone. He tried to believe her. He spent the day out, tried to clear his head. But that night, the pull of the laptop was irresistible. With trembling hands, he opened it. The login screen was there, but his wallpaper had been changed. It was now a screenshot of his own face, taken the night before, captured in that exact moment of panic. And that impossible smile was there, frozen, staring at him. That's when the camera turned on by itself. The electrical tape he'd put on was gone. The green light blinked twice like a greeting, and the reflection in the dark screen spoke. Not with its mouth, but with a voice that was a cold metallic whisper directly in his mind, his own voice twisted and distorted. "You shouldn't have turned me off." Daniel fell out of his chair, his body shaking with terror. On the screen, his reflection began to move independently. While Daniel trembled on the floor, the other Daniel on the screen was calm. It stood up, walked to the edge of the monitor, and tapped on the glass from the inside, a muffled tap-tap sound coming from the speakers. The copy's eyes were hollow, but its smile grew wider, defying human anatomy. Daniel scrambled backward, trying to shut the laptop, but the machine began to hum, the heat pouring from it so intense it burned the air. The last thing Daniel saw was the hand of his distorted self pushing through the screen's glow, pixelating and then re-solidifying in the air of his room. as if the camera was no longer just filming, but opening a door. The next morning, the room was untouched. The laptop was closed on the desk, cold to the touch. But Daniel was nowhere to be found. The police investigated, but found no signs of forced entry, no leads at all. His search history only showed frantic queries. Webcam turning on by itself. Feel like I'm being watched through my computer. There was only one inexplicable detail. Around the webcam's lens, a perfect circular scratch was etched into the plastic, as if carved by something sharp from the inside out. They say that even now, when you leave your computer on at night, alone in the dark, the camera sometimes blinks. And if you look closely enough at your own reflection in the dark screen, you might just see, for an instant, a smile that isn't yours.